to hand it over to you. How are you doing? I haven't gotten to chop it up with you in a little bit, but how's school going? How's life going? How's the board of education going? You have a lot of things you're juggling. So what's up on your end and how are you hanging in there?
Hey there, Dora Maria. How are you? I'm doing amazing. I'm doing amazing. All of the things are happening. The balls are moving, but it's not unlike anything else. I was just talking to somebody the other day, and they were like, "How do you keep it going?" And I said, here's the thing: there is going to be a ball that drops. So you got to kind of mix and mingle and do the things, but it leans right into the topic that we're talking about today. Do I have an echo, you guys? Because I sound like I have an echo
No,
here.
not on my end anyway.
Awesome. Awesome, awesome. Hey, everybody. Hey, I am so excited to be here with you one more time. In the spirit of gratefulness, sometimes we forget to say just thank you when we wake up in the morning, that we have another opportunity to literally just shift. So I want to say hey to my coaching cocktails and conversations community, to my breakfast with champions community, to Facebook, to LinkedIn, to YouTube, to my podcast, everybody that's listening in. I want to say hey, because today's topic is, how do you bring it together in the clutch? And my answer to that is Thanksgiving. How does Thanksgiving bring everything together in the clutch? And, if you've been here over time, at least the last couple of weeks, we've been talking so many juicy topics, right? We've been talking lean in, lean over, leave through, lean through. I left you with this acronym of lean, and how you can really lean in, how you can lean over, and you can lean through. And before that, we were talking about how to move forward while still standing still. Sounds crazy, right? But how do you move forward while you're still standing still? We've even talked about how to shape, then reshape where you've been to where you're going. That sounds crazy too, right? How do you reshape where you've been to help you shape where you're going? Now, if you missed any of these, you can head on over to any of the replays that I just mentioned, but also in the midst of here is what is. And so as I was thinking about all of those things, I said to myself, so how do you bring it together in a clutch? And, during the holidays in particular, it's really tough for some people. I know inside of where I live in Maryland, inside of our county, we literally just had two young scholars pass away. They were hit in an unfortunate pedestrian accident. And can you imagine? Can you imagine, even during this season, every time it's bad to lose a young person, to lose anybody in your life. But can you imagine you send your child off to school and all of a sudden you get a call and they're no longer here? And so, what I want to share with you all today is this notion of Thanksgiving and how this can really help us to bring all things together in the clutch. So, what you can do if you've never met me before, I'm Lolita E. Walker. I just want to say, hey, you guys, I'm so excited to be here. So, with all of my communities, if you want to delve into this juicy conversation, this is Coaching Cocktails and Conversations. And I come to you just with a power half an hour to leave you with a bit of coaching. Now, what that means is I'm going to leave you with a couple nuggets just to challenge your thinking. Whatever you can't use, you just leave it right here at the bus stop, because it's just too heavy to take on our journey of where it is that we're going. Right? You take the nuggets that you can use, leave the nuggets that you can't, because the reality is somebody will pick them up. Right? We're not selfish in this thing. We leave what we can't use. We only take what is important. And then that cocktails is not so much about what you're sipping on. It's more about celebrating the greatness of who it is that you are inside of this moment. So you'll have an opportunity to do that. And that just looks like, hey, I want to give a cheers to. I want to give a cheers to Richard, who is always giving back, who is always shining light on his youth inside of the orphanage. Right? I want to give thanks for um, my 11-year-old son, for being 11 years inside of my life, where he has been gifting me amazingness every day. Now, he gives me some headaches sometimes. The other day I told him, I only had one nerve left in my body, and you have officially stepped, done all of the things with it. You've gotten on it, you've gotten under it, you've gotten around it. I don't have any more nerves to give, but you did that thing right there. And sometimes in the midst of it all, even in the midst of that, I got to say thank you. I got to say thank you. And then the conversations is the juiciness we have, whether you unmic because we're with the live audience on Breakfast with Champions, or you type it in the comments on Facebook, Instagram, or YouTube, LinkedIn. We can absolutely see all of the things. And so I'll bring that there. But Coaching Cocktails and Conversations is just this power hour to gift you amazingness where you stand. Okay. So today, in everything that we talked about, I want to talk about how Thanksgiving, how this season of giving, how giving back can actually bring together all things in a clutch. Now, I was taking a look at my first book. If you're looking at me live on a video, you can see it, but the intersection of you and change. And what this book is all about, you guys, this was way back in, I think, 2017 when I wrote this. I'm 3 books after that now. But this one here, the intersection of you and change, it was a women's empowerment guide to leap to her unknown. It takes you through 17 steps of self discovery through journey junction to gratitude gateway. But then I looked at stop 17, and it is gratitude gateway. And in the season of Thanksgiving, sometimes it's tough to really say thank you because we don't know all of the things that might be happening. I just talked to you about loss, about grief, about waking up and remembering that, oh my gosh, my father, Lolita's father, is no longer here. And there's these traditions that we had, and he's no longer a part of that. But I give thanks for what it is that he was able to put in my life in all of those years that he was here. And how can I keep those memories going? So what I'm sharing with you is you never know where you're going to meet people along the journey in this holiday season. And since we know that, I want to leave you with the power of the acronym thanks and how this can really help you in the midst of how it can help you to bring all things together in the clutch. Now, Lolita, what is the clutch? What is this thing about in the clutch? Well, in the rear, it's almost the end of the year. Things are coming at us. There's tasks that's coming at us. We got projects that need to be finished, papers that need to be written, mortgages that need to be paid, all of these things. But I'm just saying, what if we could take a little bit of that and say, this Thanksgiving, this season of giving, I am actually going to give to myself. I am actually going to give thanks and spread that amongst others. I'm actually going to do that because I know that as I continue to give, then blessings continue to flow back in my direction. I give because I know that I'm on this earth in order to be a servant. I know that my time is limited no matter what it is that you believe. I'm not going to be here forever. And so while I'm here, I want to make a footprint in what it is that I'm doing and where it is that I am. And sometimes it literally just takes a shift, a move, a step to the left, a wiggle to the right, a shimmy to the front. Sometimes it takes somebody to tap you and say, guess what? In this moment, in this time, this thing right here, this thanks you're talking about is going to be this fuel that I'm pouring into your car, onto your train, so that it can help you move bigger, better, bolder. It helps you move further and farther. So I want to start with this acronym of thanks. And the first is that I want you to travel this gratitude gateway with empathy. I want you to travel this gratitude gateway with empathy. So imagine that you're on your train. Yes, I talk to you all the time about this change train. And what if you are the conductor aboard that train? What if you are leveraging the powers of I am, like Dora Maria's book, and she's talking about these powerful affirmations and how she just had these children say, I am beautiful. What does that mean? How can you power that? What if that is the fuel that's going to start your train moving? What if you've been at a standstill for a moment in work and life and home and any aspects of your life? Just think of one. What if you've been at a standstill for your health? What if you've been at a standstill for occupancy of where you live? What if you've been at a standstill on this project that you know has a deliverable? What if you've been at a standstill with where it is that you are right now, with preparing that Thanksgiving dinner? Whatever it is of where it is you're going, we're going to leverage the power of empathy, the power of I am, the power of the greatness that we are in order to fuel our train forward. I want you to put yourself as the conductor aboard that train. And what if I'm looking up in my office and it says on my vision board this year, actually, on I have these 6 power pillars, and I'm looking up in number 5. It says, I am a magnet of money, time, and resources, and will say thank you when received. That's what it says. It's one of the affirmations in my 40 card deck of affirmations. You can get it actually at lolitawalker.com. But this one right here says, I am a magnet of money, time, and resources, and will say thank you when it's received. So what does that mean is as I travel this road that might be navigated, that I might see, I look outside on the right, I might see people that are struggling. They is sorrow. They're going through loss. They're going through tough times in their life. The money is not always there. But what if, when I look forward, what I know, what I believe, what I trust is that I am this magnet of money, time, and resources. And when any of those are gifted my way, when I see a nugget of that thing inside of my path, I'm going to say thank you and I'm going to move on. I think a couple of weeks ago, we said, I was telling you all about sometimes saying thank you just is enough. It is enough. And sometimes we block our blessings by saying, oh, no, you don't have to do that. But what if the gift is theirs and they're trying to bless us? Their thanks is saying thank you to us for something that they see inside of our lives. And what if we can't really see that thing right now, but somebody else does? So you say thank you for gifting me a little bit of time back. Thank you for saying you couldn't partner with me on that thing because it gives me time back to work on this other thing. And I didn't know how I was going to get time on that. What if in the midst of things, what if as our train is going forward and we see stumbling blocks along the way? What if we see people and people that are struggling and we decide at this moment, I want to stop because I want to give. I want to give and offer the little bit of thanks that has fueled me. I want to offer that to somebody else in this season. What I want to remind you of, Thanksgiving is here to bring all things together in a clutch. That's what it's here for. So give during this season. Give of your time, your money, your energy, your resource. Give of you. What if you can't give financially to someone? You can't even give financially to you, but giving doesn't always mean that. Giving might mean giving a smile. Who can you gift a smile to today? How can you wrap up a piece of your gift, your innate gifts that God has given you, and gift it to somebody today? It could be as simple as calling someone and saying, you know what, this is what I see in you. I talk to you all about that all the time. It might be something that is fueling somebody else, and we're powering this. We're going through this thing. We're traveling this gratitude gateway with this notion of empathy, with this notion of giving. What if we could do that? Oh my gosh, the smile that it will give you in return is amazing. I don't know if you all follow on Instagram. There is this, what is it called? I feel like it's called Upworthy. Oh my gosh, don't quote me on that. I feel like it's called Upworthy, but it's some motivational uh, um, page that comes across my feed all the time. And I kid you not, that every time I watch something on this page, tears come out of my eyes because it reminds me that in the midst of, at right now, when I need it the most, when I'm stressed and I'm anxious, when I'm thinking about all of the tasks that need to be done, I can be powered with the tears of gratitude. That page is all about showing human kindness. That's what it is. It's about showing that we as humans can be kind in so many different ways. And in order to be kind to somebody else, it means that I've got to let go of some of the things that I'm holding on to in this moment so that I can gift a piece of me to somebody else. I don't know if it's the same page, but there's this other page that comes across my feed all the time, probably because I like it so much. And there's this guy who goes around and just gifts people money. And he says things sometimes, like the other day, there was a homeless guy and he said to him, hey, you know what? I'm really struggling. I'm really struggling. I'm wondering if you could give me $1. And the man said to him, oh my gosh, I don't even have anything. I'm sitting here. You see me, I'm struggling myself. But you know what? I have this single dollar that I want to give to you. And I don't know why God's telling me to give it to you, because I tell you, this is my last dollar, but you seem like you need it. You seem like you need it inside of this moment. So I want to give it to you. The tears started coming already, right? And what it did for me is the things I was thinking about before I started scrolling, because the scrolling was actually a procrastination tactic that I was going through in that moment. But the reason that it brought tears to my eyes is because it caused me to pause in that moment. It caused me to say, well, Lolita, whatever it is that you think that you're stressing about, you got to leave it right there, because this man, this example of just a gift, this example of just a gift is remarkable. It's because he's thinking outside of him, even when from the outside looking in, from the words that's coming out of his mouth, he might not be able to give it. And he gave that man his dollar. And the man in turn gave him $500. Sometimes It's in the clutch. Sometimes it's in the midst of. Sometimes it's when you step outside of yourself to travel this gateway with empathy that you recognize and you realize that there's more to life than this moment right here. And what power that was. So sometimes it's not financial. That was just something that came out of my thought. But sometimes it's walking down the street and saying, hey, I just wanted to give you a smile today. I hope your day is going to be powered with greatness. You never know. So as we go through this and how can we bring it all together in a clutch? Well, my answer, according to Lolita E. Walker, is sometimes you got to give thanks in the midst of. Sometimes you got to say thank you and give and travel this gratitude gateway with a little bit of empathy. All right. That H is honing in on what others have gifted you. Honing in on what others have gifted you. Now, remember that in the beginning, I told you that this thanks, right, is going to be fuel inside of your tank. And so you're rolling on this gratitude gateway. You're going on your change train. And what if this fuel, what if this Thanksgiving is really adding this fuel into your train? Because you got to move. You got places to be. You got people to see. What if? And so I appreciate you staying with me on this one right here, because what if then you could hone in on what others have already given you? The gift was yours for a moment, but what if you could re-gift that thing and gift it to somebody else with a little bit of spice into it, with a little bit of Pastor Jeff into it, with a little bit of Tosh into it, with a little bit of Lolita into it? What if you could gift that thing with a little bit more power so it could power somebody else? What's the last thing that somebody has gifted to you? What's the last thing that somebody has gifted to you? Let me think about my own. Oh. My cousin came over yesterday. Oh my gosh, my cousin is moving to St. Thomas. Who knew? I'm so excited for her. So super excited for her. And she came over to my place yesterday and she brought all of this stuff. She brought just food, just canned goods. She's cleaning out all of the things. She can't send it to St. Thomas. So chicken and like frozen chicken and curry, all of these things, right? Who knew that was coming? But what a blessing. Today is Thanksgiving. What a blessing that I can now be a blessing to somebody else. Somebody just gifted me that. I wasn't really expecting it. But what if I can make some curry chicken and give it to somebody? What? What if you can give that to somebody? Now, today's Thanksgiving, so people are going to get a lot of food, but what if I can make that and then give it to somebody who I know doesn't have anything? What if there's that neighbor who has lost somebody and they just are sitting inside of their house, they don't want to go anywhere? What if you could be that blessing for somebody today? What if you can take one of those plates, because you know everybody has extra? What if you could take one of those plates and then just walk it over to a neighbor's house, an elderly person's house, take it somewhere and say, hey, here you are, I want to give this to you today? What if the person you passed that was asking for some money, what if you go into that change person and say, hey, I want to give this to you? So what I'm asking you, because I'm giving you a little bit of soul work here. Actually, I've driven all the way down to the S for soul work. But what if I could give you or offer you to think about what's the last thing that somebody has given to you? And how can you leverage that and empower somebody else? And so I want to open up the mic for a second. If you were here and you're thinking about what's the last thing that somebody gave me, what's the last thing somebody gifted somebody on the stage?
Hey, Lolita, this is Ramon. How you doing?
Hey, Ramon.
Hey, good morning. I love your segment. Well, I don't remember exactly the last thing that somebody's gifted me besides my son coming here and, Thanksgiving and these traditional things, which are great. But I just wanted to share yesterday, Lolita, I was at the gas station. Usually I don't carry cash with me, so I can't give the guys and girls tips. I gave the guys $2. Lolita, I was so sad because I should have gave him more. And you've been like that, I was like, wait a minute, Ramon, you gave him $2 and $2 is $2. But I just wanted to kind of confess that. I was like, dang, I should have dropped him a 20 or a 5, but I just didn't have the presence of mind. I was probably a little bit selfish. So I don't know if that makes sense to anything what you're saying, but it was just a moment where I was like, Ramon, I slapped myself in the back of the hand and said, next time you could do more. So that's all I wanted to say.
Oh, Ramon. Thank you for saying that. Here's the thing, because Ramon, I'm gonna tidy it up and move it all together.
Let's go.
Bring it together here. I'm gonna tidy. So here's the thing is that because you live in Jersey, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, and in Jersey, they pump your gas for you for the people that's all across the world. They pump this only state, I swear, that's still there pumping the gas for you. And what they tell you, because I've tried to give a tip before, some of them say, nah, we can't take tips, right? And so the fact that you even were able to give somebody and they said, okay, the fact is that, guess what? You might have just bought them a soda. You might have just bought them something. You might have then gifted that because it added to their 20 that they were giving to somebody else. You know, sometimes in the midst of, sometimes it's Thanksgiving, sometimes the giving, it's two more than the zero that they had. And that's the blessing in it all. So sometimes we're our hardest critics, but that Thanksgiving, that pouring in that $2 fueled that person to move their train just a little bit more. It just is a spirit of giving, because when's the last time that somebody even tipped them? Sometimes it's like, thank you, appreciate it. I know after that one person, this was years ago, told me that they couldn't take tips, I never even tried again. But look at Ramon coming in and saying, hey, I don't care what it is that you think that you don't take right now, the blessing is for you. And so honing in on what others have gifted you. Your son is in town. You're feeling super grateful. You're feeling like, you know what? I never have any money, but I happen to have this $2. And so I'm gifting it to you. That there is fueling somebody else's train. And that there is power. No, I appreciate
I
that,
love it,
Ramon.
Lolita. And this is why you are Lolita Walker. I just want to say one other thing. Lolita, anytime you want to talk about jerk chicken and curry and roti and beef pate and china nuts, you let me know. Lolita Walker, back to you.
Absolutely, absolutely. I love that. Oh, Dr. Jeannie said, Lolita, for you, I am grateful. Oh my gosh, you guys. On this spirit, on this here Thanksgiving, on this here, this thanks being the things that can bring us together in the clutch. Know that you are powering somebody else's train. And so I'm looking at the time and we only have 5 more minutes. And so I want to power through these. And then if I have a little bit of time, I want to open it up one more time. And so these tips and tricks and thoughts, these considerations that I'm gifting you in this power half an hour are small. And so what I'm telling you is that the small things can equal big things. And so we're not going to minimize what it is and where it is that we are in this moment in time. But I want to offer you that Thanksgiving, this season of giving, this giving thanks can actually help you bring together all things in the clutch, in the rear, in the moments in time, in the midst of. And so traveling this gateway with empathy, honing in on what others have given you, accessing, accessing, accessing the power that is already within you, accessing the power that is already within you. What does that thing look like? Where's that light that shines in you? Where's that thing that is bubbling in you? You know how, I don't know what your faith is. I'm Baptist. And I know that when you go to join a church, for me, anytime I've joined a church, if I've moved and I've decided to join that church, I get this like, it's like these butterflies inside of you. It's that gut thing, that thing that is moving you and want to do something. That thing that was inside of Ramon that said, I'm going to give today. That thing that is inside of me that says, you know what, I want to move a little differently today. So then you walk up in front of everybody and you join this church, or you rededicate yourself to Christ. In my instance, for my religion, it's like these bubbles, or these butterflies, this kaleidoscope of butterflies that's inside of you. Lean in, lean in, and access the inner you, the power that is inside of you. Believe the things that you're feeling inside and do that thing. Write that book. Give more of you. Your story might be for somebody else. It's not even for you. You've experienced it, but I want to gift it to somebody else. Then navigate difficult conversations. Navigate difficult conversations with the empathy that we talked about as we travel this gratitude gateway. I want you to navigate difficult conversations, because the thing is that they're going to happen. Are you going to engage in it? Are you going to lean in it? Are you going to lean over it? Are you going to lean through it? All of those topics that we've talked about weeks and weeks and weeks on, make sure you go back and you listen to them, because there is power in each and every one of them. And so the nuggets, when you string together the pieces that work for you, it will power your train. Keep on keeping on. You want to keep on keeping on. You want to push just a little bit harder. You want to call somebody and say, hey, I need a little bit of power right here. You want to keep on keeping on. And then you want to do the soul work. In each and every one of my episodes, or the sessions, or these power half an hours, I give you a little bit of thinking. That's the coaching part. And then I give you some soul work. We already started with it. What's the last thing that somebody gifted you? It might be they gifted me their presence. And so how can you wrap that thing up and give it with a little bit more power? Maybe I can gift somebody my presence. Maybe I know somebody that's struggling right now and I can just gift them my presence. What if they're not struggling? I just say, hey girl, hey, how you doing? Whatever that is, I want you to package it up. I want you to think about what it meant to you and how now can you do that for somebody else, because we're here to serve. And what if this power of giving during this thankful time, this gratitude, this gateway that we're walking through, we're powering ourselves through, we're opening up the gates so that now we can push a little bit further. What if then we know that we're being powered in a clutch? So I want to open it up if there's anybody, if there's somebody that wants to say anything before I close out.
Hey, Lolita with the T, it's Tash. Just
Hey,
wanted to say
Tash.
hi. Oh, fantastic. Missed you.
Yes, I miss you too. I miss you too. I'm so glad that we're able to be together on this Thanksgiving, everybody. Tash, did you have anything or you were just saying, hey?
Yeah. Just quickly, just wanted to say, to kind of mirror what Ramona just said. We've got a lady that sells here in the UK. Anyone from the UK would understand. These magazines are called, they're homeless. They're homeless. What they're doing is they're giving them magazines to sell. So this lady hasn't been around for probably a month or two. We didn't see. And my son noticed it. It was like, Mom, where is this woman? I'm like, because we had given him a couple of times. And I was so blessed that, he noticed that this lady was there. So when she came back, which is only last week, we made a big deal out of it. We're like, oh my gosh, welcome back. So obviously she's a beggar. But we said, we missed you. Where were you? And she said, oh, she's got family in Birmingham. We do have a Birmingham in the UK. That's where our family is. And I said, oh, welcome back. And just gave whatever it is. So whatever it is that you have, I was the same thing. I was like, oh, I don't walk around with change. No, people don't walk around with change nowadays. So whatever it is that you give, it's a big deal for them. And I also believe that the more you give, instead of giving one person maybe $20, like you said, in your case, was £20, you can probably give $2 each person. And then you give a lot more people. So yes, just wanted to mention that. Ramon, really appreciate what you did, and please don't beat yourself up. That was absolutely amazing. Like Lolita said, that was more than what they had before. So thank you so much for this segment, Lolita.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. Crystal, do I have a minute? Is it okay? I think so. I'm going.
Yes.
Oh, good. Thanks, Crystal. Listen, I want to leave you guys with this right here. I talked to you all about Stop 17 in this book called Gratitude Gateway. And I want to read it to you. And it's so funny because I haven't read it in a year. It says gratitude in every chapter. It's very small. It's a small book. It's only 200 something pages, but this one is called Gratitude Gateway. And every chapter opens up with what I call just this affirmation poem. And so this one is called gratitude. And of course, I started off with an acronym because in all things, I love a powerful acronym. And it says gratitude. Gratitude is the gateway that offers thanks for what you have and for what you don't. Relish and appreciation of what others simply won't. A power beyond yourself has helped you navigate the road you're on today. Trust your strengths, faith, and instincts to grant you guidance on your way. Insist on appreciation words like thank you as you move your ego to the side. Track your small wins daily. From these, you'll never want to hide. Unique to you, these small wins become large victories over time. Then dare to embrace each situation as a footstool that helps you climb. Execute with excellence and allow your light to shine. Welcome to Gratitude Gateway. I want to leave you guys with the notion that gratitude is a gateway that powers you to even bigger, better, bolder. Gratitude is a gateway that's going to help you to open up the doors to your own happiness, your internal happiness, and even sometimes external happiness for who it is and what it is that you bring to the table. I want to remind you that you are the conductor aboard your train. And today, if you're just now getting here, we talked about bringing it together in the clutch. And how do you do that? And what I powered you with is this acronym of thanks. And what if thanks, what if giving thanks, offering thanks is exactly what you need of the how? That is the how you bring things together in a clutch. I'm so excited that I was able to be here with you on this Thanksgiving Day. And so I just want to say thank you guys for everything. I'm so appreciative of each and every one of you all. All right. Thanks. See you next week.